Hey guys, name Madsen here, owner, composer, and sound designer, and owner of a very loud, squeaky studio chair. And I have not done one of these vlogs in quite some time. Actually, let me clarify that. I've actually recorded 2 or 3, I have not edited them and then put them up. I've just been swamped with doing freelance work, doing work for SciPlay, and also doing this. Practicing my saxophone just about every night in preparation for the inside-outside retreat, which is in about 2 weeks. And I have a trip in the middle of that. I have a trip next week. So this is kind of my last little bit of chunk of time to really focus, really polish. And then I come back and I have a couple days before the trip so I can get a little bit of last minute practicing in and then go. But I was reading this, The War of Art. I keep this at my piano. I actually put it right over here on top of my iPad. Oh, you can't see. There it is. I put it right here every day, and I try and pick it up and read. Each chapter is pretty short. Page or two, sometimes a little bit longer. Not bad. And this just popped out. I just read this. I was just practicing. I'm going to be stopping now. It's almost 10 o'clock at night on a Friday. Hopefully spend some time with my wife. But I was just reading this. This is Resistance and Rationalization Part 2. Page 55 for those that have the book. And he just starts off, resistance is fear. For those that don't know about this book, what Stephen Pressfield is actually doing, he has this notion, this idea that there's a resistance, and it's both internal and external. Most of it is internal in my opinion, or I think in his opinion, where you have self-doubt, you have all these things that come up that tell you why you shouldn't do something that you know you should be doing. And so let me just, that's what he's talking about when he says resistance. I'll just read the first little paragraph. Resistance is fear, but resistance is too cunning to show its naked form to us. Why? Because if resistance lets us see it clearly, there are our own fears preventing us from doing our work, we may feel shame at this. And shame may drive us to act in the face of fear. And I've been pretty open with my friends and my colleagues that going to the inside-outside retreat scares the daylights out of me. I'm very excited. I think it's going to be a really good thing. I think I'm going to come away from it in a very positive light, with a lot of growth, with a lot of excitement, and some new great techniques to enhance not only my playing as a saxophonist, but just me as a musician, me as a person, me as a composer. So I'm very, very excited about it, but I'm also pretty scared because I know some of the players that are there are going to be top-notch, and a lot of the teachers, if not all of them there, and a lot of the people helping out, because we have musicians coming that are fulfilling things like support roles, like rhythm section, that type of thing. I know that all the players there are going to be A-notch players. And so it's exposing myself, my vulnerabilities, my musicianship, my artistry, to people who know what good stuff is and know what crap is, and I expect them to call me out on it and say, hey, this thing you did right here in the solo wasn't good because X, Y, and Z. They're not going to do it in a mean sort of way, not with malice, but instead they're going to do it with a way of just trying to show, educate, stretch me, grow me. But I have a lot of resistance about that. In fact, I even emailed Bob Reynolds when I was signing up saying, I feel nowhere near ready to take on something like this. And I've been watching your vlogs, I've been reading The War of Art by Stephen Pressfield, and I feel like that's just the resistance. And he wrote me back and he said, after doing this for 4 years, I can tell you absolutely everyone feels this way that goes to this camp, and it is the resistance. It's pushing back saying, don't do this, don't do this. Because even if I went to this camp, I know this is not going to happen. I know I'm going to come away with something amazing. But even if I didn't, just in that 1% chance of that happening, I know that the last several months of just spending time on my horn, improvising, technique, studying, thinking about and approaching and drilling all kinds of different approaches on the saxophone, that's already given me benefit right there. Just that, you know. But it's something that is very nerve-wracking, you know. My instinct is to want to shy away and be like, I'm not ready for that. I'm not good enough for that. Even the logistical side, you know. My wife is super supportive, and The Inside Outside retreat is not inexpensive, but when you consider what it is, a week-long thing where they're providing lodging and food and travel to and from the airport, I think it cost me $1,000, basically $1,095, because I got the early bird discount of $200 off. So anyone else, it's basically $1,295. That's not cheap, but at the same time, for a week-long thing with the world-class musicians that you have and all the amenities they're providing, it's actually pretty affordable considering what you're getting out of it. But my initial thought was, oh, $1,300. By the way, this is before I knew about the discount early bird. So I immediately said, oh, that's just too much money. And I honestly was kind of hoping my wife would say, yeah, we can't afford that. It's too much. But she was like, dude, that's pretty understandable, pretty reasonable. I think you should do it. I was like, crap, my wife is supporting me now. Oh. And so now I'm like, okay, I really should try and do this. And I signed up. And so now I'm committed time-wise and committed financially. And so for the last several months I've had, and the sign up was in April. So for the last 2 months or so, I've just been drilling, working on this as hard as I can while doing everything else I need to do. So my advice to you is, whatever you have in your life that you know you should be doing that you're kind of hiding away from, you're kind of shying away from, avoiding, just take it on. Just go right at it. Go right at whatever it is. Get this book, The War of Art, if you don't have it. It's fantastic. And read one of those things every day. Just go through and just see. You're not going to agree with everything in this book. I mean, what book will you agree 100% with what the author says? But there's a lot of great things in here. And I see a lot of myself in that. And I see how I try and rationalize and say, and it's all because I'm afraid. And the best thing you can do is just face that fear, and then you're going to come out, and you're going to be stronger, and you're going to learn a whole bunch of things, and you're going to realize that you can take on a lot more than you give yourself credit for. I hope that's encouraging. I hope that's helpful. Reach out if you have any questions. If you're watching this and you're going to the Saxophone Inside Outside retreat, the dates are August 6th through the 11th. If you're going to that, man, reach out. I'd love to connect. I've already connected with one person on Facebook. So reach out. Let me know you're going. I'd love to say hi. It's a pretty small camp. It's like 55 students. And then the rest are support musicians doing rhythm section, that sort of thing. And then also the educators like Bob Reynolds and Jeff Coughlin, Dave Matthews, and Bella Fleck is going to be there. One more thing to think about. My really good friend, he's a professional bassist, plays with Thomas Rhett, Travis Vance. I was texting him when I was just trying to decide, am I going to go to this retreat or not? I was talking to my wife. She was all for it. I reached out to my friend Travis, and I said, dude, the Bob Reynolds retreat's in Nashville. And my friend Travis lives in Nashville. It's like, it's in Nashville and everything. I don't know. And that resistance was still there. And so I was like, I don't feel ready. I'm pretty scared. And I don't feel ready for something like this. This is a big undertaking. And he had the best response. He just basically, in one sentence, he said, if you were ready, it wouldn't be worth your time. I was like, dang. I don't know how to come back to that. I don't know how to argue against that. That's very, very true. And so that's one thing I've been trying to tell myself, is the fact that I'm going as a student to this thing. There's other areas in my life right now that I've been privileged and very honored to be able to act as an authority on when I'm doing lectures about game audio, that sort of thing. There's a lot of areas in my life that I feel like I've achieved some stuff and I have valuable lessons and wisdom to share with others. But on the saxophone, man, I'm a student, and so the other way I'm trying to look at it is I'm going there for all these professional saxophonists and all my fellow students to help pour into me, and hopefully me pour into them some, and all of us leave more full than when we came, with more inspiration, ideas, all that stuff. So if you have something in your life that you're avoiding, man, just go after it. It's going to be worth the fight. It's going to be uncomfortable. You're going to have all those things pop up where you're going to say, well, this is why it makes sense for me not to do this. But really ask yourself, am I just rationalizing? Is this all based on fear? Is this the resistance trying to keep me from doing what I should be doing? Because I guarantee you, even though I'm scared and nervous, the journey up to this point. I know the journey during that week is going to be amazing. As my brother-in-law said, he said, I'm fairly convinced that you're going to come back. It's going to be a life-changing event for you, a life-changing week. And I think he's right. I'm very excited about it. So scared and excited, but ready to make it happen. So that's it for Friday. If you like these videos, please hit like. Subscribe if you want us to get notified about new videos coming out. If you have any questions, hit me up. I'm here to help. And take care, guys. Have a good Friday. See ya.